Pofke versus Ryooo because both of those players are incredibly solid on both sides and hate allowing their opponents to do shenanigans. So fun set though. Fun set to cast, but I think
Yeah.
treat to watch too.
Yeah, definitely a fun set, and now we definitely see why the set was picked for the cast tonight.
Yeah, a
And
lot
it's
of games coming down to those last 15 seconds. These guys were not like messing around with their pacing. They were getting stuff done generally, most of the time, but they were a lot of rough AI luck there from Magidoor, if I do say, um, with the DAs in particular, giving them a bit of the cold shoulder throughout the set. Ooh, you got the picks and bans there ready for the next set there, Corvus?
Yeah, let's get into them. So our next game will be in Platinum. It'll be between Pofke and Ryooo. We'll have the Balcony ban from Pofke and the Redwoods ban from Ryooo. So no Redwoods, unfortunately, in this set, and no Balcony either. We're going to ban away the two singles from the last match. We have the Tayen Restrict and the Aquarium Restrict here. And then our picks are Gallery and Courtyard are doubled, and Aquarium, Ryoo's Restrict, is singled by Pofke, and then Ryo singles, are you ready for this? Terrace.
Yeah, so this is a much more sensible lineup. Courtyard's almost too sensible. Like some people just don't like it because it's a bit vanilla. I mean, vanilla's my favorite flavored ice cream, so uh, I think there's room to disagree. Gallery is about as spy party as it gets. Uh, Terrace, it's a small map, but it's also very fair. And then we have Aquarium, but it's singled because uh, Ryo couldn't ban both Redwoods and Aquarium. He had to single something. So we do have a bit of a reprieve if we can get to that point in the set. And we're starting off with the gallery.
yes, with Ryu as the queen.
Let's ask before we get started, and we can get too many biases. Who do you have as the favorite here, Catnip?
Pofke.
Uh, it is going to be a bit of Lithuanian support here from Catnip. I think it's
I
quite
mean,
even. I think it's a trap question. I think these guys are incredibly even going into this set. They're 2-2, and we can talk more about their history. But let's get the game going at least in three, two, one, playing it.
I mean, there's a bit of Lithuanian support, but there's also Lithuanian salt. Because, like I mentioned before the cast to you, Pofke is the one who took away the title of being best Lithuanian spy party player from me. So if he takes that title away, he better be good.
Who's third, by the way? Is there a third Lithuanian player, or do we just have
Uh,
two killer
I know
Lithuanian
two or
players
three
and that's
more
it?
people who have played a little bit, but not enough for me to rank them.
I can't get
So
second. I can't get best in Americas because best in Americas is just Kaylee. Um, Poppy's up there though. If we're talking about like the most lethal snipers that we've seen play in SCL, Kaylee's number one on your list. Uh, Pofke might honestly be second on some people's lists. He's just absolutely brutal on sniper. I think his spy is less so than his sniper, but that's not really a fair comparison. It's like saying like Kaylee's spy is bad. It's like no, Kaylee's spy is worse than his sniper. That doesn't mean much. Ryu, by the way, has a contact. We've not had an opportunity for a flirt, but seduction target is coming our direction. Ryu, to note, I love his decision making, both on spy and sniper, but particularly on spy, where decisions often come to the forefront. I've never seen a Ryu game and I went, I don't like that decision. Like all of his decisions are either really good or like at least good. There's no bad. This bug makes sense. Ryu takes it. See,
yeah,
uh,
probably getting suspicion for it.
yeah. Unlike the last set, I think the highlights and lowlights from these players are going to be a bit harder for us to really read.
Yeah,
Poppy likes to just use his highlights as a memory tool, more than suspicion. If Pofke didn't at least note the possibility of that bug, I would be surprised. That's very much what Pofke likes doing. Pofke's biggest priority on any time on any map is the ambassador safe, and then he goes from there. Then we're talking about step two and step three from there. Ryu's
yeah,
in a really good pace. This drink take is gonna keep us a bit less suspicious. It does put us in a bit of trouble if seduction target just does statues or goes outside, which they are. Um, and we're gonna need to figure out what our fourth mission is. With the drink in hand, something like inspect has now become much more prohibitive.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It feels too late for a fingerprint unless we get lucky. I personally probably go for microfilm, but that more often ends up not well for me.
Yeah,
Um, I don't even know. Statues is not the way. Purloin, perhaps.
yeah, I've made the joke, though I'm not really that unserious about it, that half of games on gallery end up with the purloin in the last 30 seconds in the back of the party. Ryu's gonna finish our flirt. He's trying to give it a bit more space. He only needs the 18%.
Yeah,
And we're looking down the party. We can't do bug. If you could just bug twice, I'm sure Rhea would love to do it. But what's it
I'm
gonna
sure a lot
be?
of players would like to do it.
Yeah, swap is not really an option. Rocker is the only person who's been there, but she's already a low light for the contact. We're not gonna be framing anybody, and Queen's not gonna body block. This will line up for Purloin, though. We do at least have one reject. Yeah, we're requesting, but it's a bit of a walk for Toby. This it's gonna look
Yeah,
really suspicious, I think.
we
We do
may
hit
have
the
room
green.
for. Oh,
10 seconds on the clock. This is gonna cause overtime and potentially just the stoppage time of no beeping if we get another reject. It's right at 0 seconds, but the shot comes off immediately. Pofke does not want to deal with Queen dancing in the back of the conversation. Just ready for the list to disappear, and it disappears just before the game ends,
yeah,
or clock hits
I
zero, I should say.
I would have thought that White Purloin had more chance for us to win as the spy, but that podcast shot proves me wrong. So yeah, just unfortunately, I think the fourth mission to do on this one is to get some good fingerprints. But you know, the party goes as the party goes.
Yeah, I think Ryu played that about as well as he could. I'm not sure. We just found ourselves in a spot with 90 seconds. This happens a lot in Gallery where you're like, I don't actually know what my fourth mission's gonna be. Uh, we'll see if Pofke loves his wheels, man. This is gonna be Pofke Wheels Classic, but on Gallery. In three, two, one, playing it. Wheels, to note, is beloved by anybody who's played this game casually because he's incredibly notable, being the only character to have a wheelchair, but also just with Smallman being one of the only two small characters, and I just really love the idea of just yelling wheels and rolling away to victory. As a competitive character, one of the weaker. Their bug is just really awkward if you know what to look for. But they do have some perks. One, they're a bit shorter, and two, their microfilms can be quite good, in part because they're shorter, but also just his animations aren't severe like some animations are for microfilm. Lovely bounce in there from Salmon Danger. 10 out of 10. Deserves a low light. And Pofke likes wheels more than anybody by a significant margin.
It's weird. I usually got Kaylee playing wheels. So, but he hasn't played in a while, so that may change. But I think overall Wheels is more popular among platinum diamond players, just from tendencies that I've noticed.
I
Um,
I mean I've said a lot of mean things about wheels in the past, but then I also have been playing quite a bit of wheels recently. Um, in part just you also have to have a mixed bag, right? Like if you're gonna be picking your characters on a regular basis and not just doing some sort of like random setup, you need to like have a balanced diet. Because especially in somewhere like Platinum where you're talking about these players who are willing to study your play, if you're picking Smallman 20% of the time, they'll know. Uh like there's obviously a cost to that. Smallman's just gonna die as a civilian slightly more, but you're not going to get away with the Smallman games that people do. Pofke
I
going
like
for
that
a
you can
real
do that.
cheeky green purloin. This is a good game. Uh, Pofke has good winning chances here, and we could even do microfilm as the book disappears or the list disappears. We don't. The hope here, if it's not abundantly clear, is as the list disappears, we have something in hand. Therefore, we can't be the person who took the list. Please, sniper, don't shoot us. Uh,
But Ryu is good enough to potentially notice that
I
was
think you're meant to stop on this, by the way. You can't return this. Good job, Pocky. With Ambassador up against the wall, the AI will know to not attempt to try and get behind them,
yeah.
and Pofke acknowledges that. It's not a hard acknowledge for Pofke to do because he had 10 seconds of him rolling towards the Ambassador. He can think about it. We could end the game here. Ugh. No, we don't hit the fingerprint. We could have done something like fingerprint swap, but now that option's off the table with the fingerprint missed. Ambassador might give us another print here on the drink, but Pofke's not looking at it. He's not interested at this point. He has different ideas, and it might be just getting the contact in before the opportunity goes away.
I almost would think that second statue and fingerprint is the better way to go, but oh, I was about to see that the banana bread is safer option to go right before the DA left.
Ambassador was in our area, but we weren't able to be close enough for the bug, and a lot of people were
Banana
potentially
bread.
bugging, but none of them actually going to be credited. This is a fake banana bread. It's a bit of desperation, and it's not going to work. Both the DA and the SDA were clearly outside of conversation. We're not going to get someone shot for that. We are going to have to finish, and it's going to need to be in spec swap. There's nothing left
Yeah.
to do. We've done the inspect. The swap is clearly being watched. You can see the angle coming
Yes.
over, and we're wheels. It's not particularly clever, anyways. You're not body blocking. Pofke taking his best chance with the banana bread, but with only 2 highlights and just not enough to watch at the end of the game. Ryooo takes the shot on what is the desperation effort. It's a bit harsh to say, but I can't think of a better term with the inspect
Yeah,
swap.
it's sort of, oh shoot, I missed my second print, so I'm gonna have to scramble.
Yep, it's
That kind of
scramble. Scramble's a nice way of saying what I just said. Yeah, good
but
stuff
yeah,
by
it's
Ryooo
sort of
though.
it's scramble because our proper plan didn't work out. It's not like scramble because I did bad thing. So there's that. Um,
Y- We were playing through 15 lowlights, by the way. Ryooo, I don't think
nice.
had like a full understanding of the Purloin, but he was pretty solid and then definitely enough to not lose to the inspect swap. To know we probably would have won this game if we had hit that green fingerprint
I think that as well. I think
because we got
and
the last inspect done at 10 seconds, and assuming that the shot was for the swap, if the shot was just for the inspect, good on you, Ryu.
and also if the double agent would have not left uh when she did, we didn't even potentially couldn't even needed that second.
More Ryu Queen 1-1. Let's get it started in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Well,
Nothing to
generally
play for
double
here
agent.
unless you want to do the cheesiest banana bread I've ever seen. Uh, One thing you can do, and I don't see enough spies do it, so I'm not surprised Rio's considering it, is just standing in a conversation with a double agent and letting the conversations fill. It's both like the least suspicious way to get a contact done, but also you don't really have much else you could do. The only other thing that you really want to do this early in the game is flirt, and definitely want to make a
Banana bread.
consideration to end up at the blue bookcase in the future. Banana
Yeah,
bread with the split, not rewarded with a low light or punished with a highlight, and it looks like the blue bookcase is already being smothered before we even had a chance to consider the fingerprint. Another
we do.
fingerprint at statues if we want it.
We get a far flirt. Unfortunately, there wasn't a spot next to RSD. um, but yeah, that banana bread I'd say was quite a good one. I think we had only 2 or 3 lowlights, which for gallery is quite good.
That's an absurd banana bread on gallery. Gallery, I'd say the average is probably like 5. With
Yeah,
only 2
I would have
conversations.
guessed
It's
4, but
optimal.
that's around that area. Yeah. We go to the other bookcase.
Ambassador's leaving fingerprints everywhere, but the problem with missing the fingerprint here on the first one is at this point you start looking at like doing 3 fingerprints potentially, or being credited for 3 fingerprints, and you're just giving the sniper another opportunity to catch you on what's meant to be the more subtle mission. In that sense, also, there's a lot of minefields now. If Ryu wants to complete something like Inspect, they might accidentally get credited with Fingerprint if they go to the wrong statue, just because Ambassador's been touching so many things.
That's fair. Do return this one correctly, which means we smudge the print, don't we?
Yeah, this print's already over, and the problem with Gallery is, hey, Ryu,
No
what are you up to? You punk. Taking a book out. We're trying to hide it behind someone, but the only spot in this conversation is behind Smallman, who's not particularly hiding. This fingerprint does exist. I'm squinting at my computer like I don't know what Ryu caught something that I didn't, which is so typical of his spy. And now we're doing the microfilm, which is naughty, incredibly naughty.
I
But
like it. Like, I would be annoyed if I was playing against Ryu as hell, but I like it. I'm enjoying this now.
looking at Pofke's sniper, it doesn't appear to be acknowledged, but that's often the case with Pofke's sniper. He just isn't going to highlight you for the mission. He's either going to shoot you or just wait until you're potentially done. He's got a good count almost all the time. This bug, if it did stick, was actually really nice. It doesn't stick, but I don't think it's going to hurt us. The arm was more or less covered by the ambassador's bulk the whole time, and we're getting our flirt done. We only have 24 seconds. We need the seduction target to go somewhere friendly, like this conversation or painting pad, if we're going to finish the flirt. Okay, we could
Okay, this
flirt
is
here while holding the
insane.
briefcase. Oh, this is yeah.
Oh, this was a very different kind of cheeky.
So Ryu saw the line, and this is why I always get impressed with Ryu's spy. Is he sees all these like weird lines that I see, and sometimes even more interesting lines. I think the only way that we complete this game is we do the fingerprint into go stand on the pad, flirt, and then go do whatever we want to do with the briefcase. And looks like he decided to put it down. Pofke's having none of it. We've already done like 4 prints at this point. Um, but Ryu just his ability to see the possibilities. I don't think there are many spies who uh, see this. I think most spies would just go chase the ambassador and hope that they're in bug range by the time that they get to the ambassador, which wasn't going to be possible with 11 seconds left a lot of the time. Yeah, ambassador's going all the way outside. They were in a spot.
Yeah, that was a. I can understand that kind of. We needed to. I think I would call it a bit of a scramble again, but it was just time pressure. And to be honest, I thought that would not be possible at all. Considering when we went to the green bookcase to flirt there. Um, so I think I'm pleasantly surprised that it worked time wise in the
Yep.
first place.
And then you remember that you're playing Pofke and you don't get to get away with stuff.
Exactly.
Pofke gonna try and get away with stuff against Ryu, so good luck to him in 3, 2, 1, playing it. I think Pofke's had. Ooh, yeah, this is a turnout time ad. Shout outs to Turnout, who's been doing it since season 1 SCL, the chaos time ad. And now we can get the meta flirt. If we can get the 51%, I think all Tobos are happy. 34%. Tobo is only glad.
I mean, Tobo's rarely sad, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only way to mess up Tobo's day is get 99% flirt. Uh, Otherwise, he's a blessing to our community. Thank you, Tobo, for existing. Um, let's get to what's the next plan. Looks like Pofke's satisfied with timer flirting, but the seduction target is not. She wants to be seduced at different places, like a yellow painting, or maybe meet me at statues. She's a lady of culture. We're
I mean,
we're requesting a drink here, by the way.
yeah, probably planning for purloin. I don't think it's a good purloin, though the twin just did reject.
I think this might have a print on it, honestly, but it doesn't make sense because Ambassador's at a bookcase.
Yeah, I don't think it
Um,
does.
not sure what the request was. Maybe it was just speculative. Anytime that you see a high-level spy request a drink, you gotta get scared. They know something that you don't. In this case, it looks like Pofke's just blocked himself from going outside to statues for a bit. Not to mention things like making the bug harder to do.
Mm. Um, we are at 59%, so we could end up greening it. But instead we just go across the conversation, which may be okay. We have enough time for that. The thing is, we need a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, Pofke was in the position to do a reverse drive-by, but instead of taking the bug, decided to flirt. I think one of the things Pofsky's probably more aware of than anybody in the game is that doing that talk right as the ambassador comes by does give you a bit of like a micro alibi. Like I can't be bugging, I was talking. Um, and so making that decision and also just getting the flirt at the same time makes sense. We've got one thing done. It's our flirt. We barely snuck that in before seduction target decided that she wanted to go to another yellow painting, and that's about it. This is incredibly bold.
Oh, that. Please tell me that. William.
Yeah, there we go. Uh,
Oh,
Ryu takes the fairly delayed highlight on Pofke for what was just one of the nastiest bugs. Like that nasty, not in a good way. I use nasty as that was just rude and unnecessary from Pofke.
Banana bread.
I'll,
And
I'll,
if
I'll
he
agree
wins
with
the
you.
game, this should be the shot. Ryu, it's so brazen that Pofke's still alive. Either that, or Ryu has such a nasty count. There's nasty in a good way. Has a ridiculous count on Pofke that he's not willing to shoot until he sees a fourth mission. Um, it's not good, but I don't know who it's not good for. Someone's in a spot right now.
Yeah, I think if we. Oh, safety off on Oprah. That's interesting.
Green Perling? Nope. Pofke is giving himself the opportunities to take them if the sniper appears to not be looking, but just isn't taking them at the moment. This will be in specs. The lasers come on to us, but I think Ryu's just checking the memory banks and going, no, you haven't been to statues yet. There's no fingerprint there. I don't need
I'm
to shoot. I think
pretty
Ryu's
sure
hesitant to shoot because there are high suspects otherwise.
we should get shot here, though. Oh,
This
I'm pretty sure
should
we're dead for a second statue visit.
Yeah, the only reason we might survive would be other people also doing suspicious things, but Red Dress isn't being offered a drink or anything in the back. So Ryu does take the solid shot. Just can we go pull up the bug again there, Corvus? I just want to see what it looks like on the sniper side. Maybe it's a lot better than I thought. That bug
It's
is actually a lot better than I thought. That bug's, I mean, still gets you highlight and you still lost the game, but huh, that bug is actually really good. Scary. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit.
okay. It's a good bug, so I don't like it.
Yeah, people are finding things that I now have to be able to shoot for in the future, and that's no fun. I want to be the
Fair
person who
enough.
finds things. And that's why we have Aquarium. Which we should have in the future. The set's going pretty evenly in Aquarium, I believe, is our third map set. Before we get there, though, we got some Courtyard. Ryu as General in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, it seems I had my personal score incorrect. We're at 2-2 now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just been
Okay.
Sniper Party. Uh, don't know why we call it the Spy Party, but we are in Courtyard, and in Courtyard is infamously known as a spy bias map, venue. I've combined map and venue into menu. There we go. Um, We are doing the green swap start. This could be a rush. BB
Banana
Purloin
bread.
would make a lot of sense
Yeah,
here, just trying to end the game before it's over. Started.
especially if we
Yeah.
could. No, it was just get exciting flashbacking to the ballroom game where we finish with the bug.
This will be a Purloin if we're rushing. We could also do a much more sensible 2 flirt and still finish pretty quickly. This is going to need to be a 3 flirt. The problem is, once the statue is seen, it's a 2-person game, and we need to be the less suspicious between us and Salmon. Contact
Banana
coming
bread.
off, we unfortunately hitting a white test, but at least that gives credit to Salmon if they didn't already have credit for the banana bread. The idea here would, from Ryu's side, is that you're acting like you are the person being framed.
Fair. I mean, you say like it's between two people. I say even if between two people, all we need to do is flirt. So it shouldn't be that suspicious. Or I suppose it is just not for us.
It works. It just works. Ryu convinces Pofke that he is less suspicious, or potentially just gets Pofke to kind of forget that he was also in the swap. Either way, really good stuff from Ryu. And this is just one of those ways that Courtyard sneakily ends up with more spy wins than you'd expect, because these sort of things happen where you can get someone shot just by taking a list or swapping, even if everything's kind of on the table. These plays still exist, and that's why I jokingly say that Courtyard is spy biased. Let's move on, see if we can get another one here with Pofke's orange dress in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm still thinking it's more sniper bias, but a lot of things have changed since when I was sure about this game, so there's that too. Um,
Yeah, I mean, going back way into history, when we started, like you and I, Catnip, back
yeah,
in season 2, Courtyard was a very popular old art map. I should say Courtyard 2,
yes.
because there was also Courtyard 1, which is not popular. And that had some like weird pathing stuff. Uh, and then we moved on to New Courtyard, which has a bit of a different texture, like the bushes and stuff, but it's still, I think, of the old art to new art adaptations, it's like the most, it feels like the old art map the most, beyond like the pathing stuff, which was needing to be removed anyways.
I can I can see that, yeah.
Maybe gallery. Gallery also comes to mind. But something like ballroom changed completely. When we talk about like the old art changes, like the pillars on ballroom, um, gave us so much cover. They were like the trees before the trees existed on redwoods, sort of thing. Back to the game. Pofke's really quick start here. Inspects early, and we should just be finishing our flirt. We could end the game immediately if we want to do something like a contact purloin. All we need to do is request or contact Bug. Ambassador is here too. We have options. Here comes the banana bread. It's white, which is
Banana
a bit
bread.
unfortunate. It's going to make any idea to Bug a lot harder to do. And yeah, Ambassador just leaves. Opportunity gone.
Eh, Yeah, it's too late for fingerprints, so it would need to be purloin, unless we get a good bug opportunity.
The briefcase is here. Like the problem with Courtyard is, unlike maps that have books, uh, there's just less opportunities to get fingerprints. So doing a really cheeky 2 fingerprints in the last minute is pretty prohibitive.
Right, it
Also,
seems we're not... Yeah, go
also
ahead.
just compared to like Modern's 8 or Aquarium having 8. What's the last plan? What's your mission, Catnip?
Well, I would like to see a bug if we get a good opportunity, but we keep running out of time for that, so it may have to be purloin.
This is a good purloin. We did just get a reject from a highlight. We need to also hit the green test and not have the fade scene. Fade is white. It's not confident on the shot, but it does come off in just in time. We had a few seconds left before the spy claimed the win. Good stuff, and I don't know why anybody has ever said this is spy bias. Easy shot. All you have to do is shoot for purloins.
I'm just not sure how to react to you.
I'm negging myself.
Yes,
It
contradicting yourself on purpose. So
it's negging. It makes me want to like myself more by insulting myself. I believe that's how negging works.
let's just
Um,
move on to the next game, shall we?
for sure. Seek, Ryu, Spy, 3, 2, 1, playing it. We have a drink in hand. Any cheeky swap ideas are kind of out of the table. We're going to be getting hopefully a 51% flirt, but at least 34. Ryu's green tests have not been on fire today. There are some days that Ryu can just hit every green and it's miserable for the sniper.
Yeah, I think we have seen quite a few green tests in the previous match. Not that many in this one. It doesn't seem like green test is aside from that one fingerprint. It doesn't seem that green test is something that loses us the game though.
Yeah, especially like with flirt, the biggest cost with not hitting your green test on courtyard isn't that you're not going to get the flirt. Like the flirt's almost always available, just because this second target has so many places that they can go that you can flirt.
Banana bread.
There's no like trap trap bookcases or statues way across the map like there were in gallery. Um, the problem is it just delays your ability to do the last hardtail because you don't want to do the purloin and then give your opponent another 10 seconds while you're running across the map and another 10 seconds for the mission countdown. You want your hardtail, preferably, to be your last mission.
Fair enough.
Okay, here we go. Seduction targets left. Briefcase acknowledged, but it looks like we've already lost the race to Alice. There is a fingerprint on the drinks if we want it. Ryu's just gonna stalk Toby and see if he can get that one. Uh,
Can you
and
even? Okay, you should be able to request from that spot. Toby
yep,
can go around
I
a
had the
little bit.
same question and but Toby on this side.
Yeah, because
Anywhere
you can use
like
that
a
angle.
step to the left and we'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
We're gonna settle, I assume, before we try and get this fingerprint. Here we go. It's not even difficult because orange dress rejected. Now the second one's gonna be the bigger question. Ambassador's still holding the briefcase for the moment. If there's a printable statue, Ryu has a clear way to win. But otherwise, we're gonna run into real-time trouble.
Yeah, I was thinking just the same thing. Hoping for a printable
Banana
statue.
bread.
This banana bread is actually
Why?
really good.
Okay.
Because it's fake. We have like 5 people in our conversation, and none of them happen to be the SDA. Um, we've just caused more suspicion on people. We're more likely to get a civilian shot, and we have clear ways to win. Ryu is maximizing his ability to find a way to win. This does have a
Fair enough.
fingerprint. It is green. We
We
don't have
did
to do the
it!
swap. All we have to do is inspect and
I don't think we're getting
ask
shot
Pop
for this.
ask Pofke nicely, please, sir. Please don't shoot me. Oh, come on, Pofke. We
Oh.
said please. Pofke, not one for niceties. Still takes the shot, though I can't imagine that's particularly confident on the difficult print. Maybe
Ugh.
the two cycle and just no other people to shoot probably did it for him. But this is the courtyard game that you want. This is like I wanted to play courtyard. This is what I want. I can't always get it because ambassador is not always that kind. But you got two prints and neither of them were off briefcase. Like you'll take this every day.
Yeah, it seemed like we're not getting shot there for a moment, and I was so happy. 'Cause, like, if you get a difficult fingerprint, you don't deserve to win by default, but considering other things happened, it hurts.
Yeah, I think the fake also sells it. Like I think that makes that shot even harder for Pofke, where it feels like you're just trying to hope that an AI dies, and then an AI or a spy goes to the difficult fingerprintable statue. that spot's really tough, and Pofke makes the right decision, which is good on him. Expected it at this point, but good on him.
Yes. Yeah, definitely am expecting high things from this match, or was expecting from this match, and those are being delivered.
I got some Pofke Spy trying to remind me that Courtyard is a place you're allowed to win. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. So Courtyard, I believe in prior seasons had 3 minutes, and we kicked it up to 3:15. Um,
Yes, I believe it was already 3:15 in the last one.
yeah,
I'm not really sure, but yeah.
I don't know exactly when it changed. Um, and I'm gonna just have a broader conversation. The the problem with adding time, and we do it a lot in SCL, is the reality is you can always just time add. With Courtyard and also Library comes to mind as maps that we've added time on. I'm like, but they're good time add maps. The the thing with Courtyard is it's really unintuitive that it's a good time add map, because everything's so open. But because all four sides have what we call windows, though there's no actual window panes,
Right.
uh, time add spots, you can almost always be on the other side of the action, be it on the other side of the statue or just as far away from the ambassador as possible, and have the ability to add time. And as we saw in a game, say an AI did exactly what Ryu did, adding 45 seconds just gives the ambassador 45 more seconds to touch a
Banana bread.
statue and really make the game a lot harder for the sniper. Um, but it's something that's just really unintuitive because Courtyard feels so open. It feels so risky to do a time at.
Yeah, you very often feel like you're under the laser right there, but you're not. But when you think you're not, you actually are, because rotation. So there's that balance. We need missions.
Yeah, I chose a good time to go on a rant about time ad because we just haven't done anything. We could use one actually.
Yeah.
Uh, Pofke does not have a lineup for a bug. While as a spy you might want to do it, we'd be walking straight into where Ryu's laser is at the moment. And Ryu has a really comfortable spot here. There's nothing to really watch for. Ambassador's safe. And other than we're just keeping Pofke on the other side of the statue for whatever reason, like with one of the conversations empty, all we have to do is make sure that nobody sneaks the statues, and Ryu's gonna feel safe and secure in this spot.
Yeah, I don't really see how Pofke wins this, at least, unless some weird thing happens and a Civ shot as a result. But we're just running out of time, and I don't think we're having this. I think Ryu has it on a timeout.
Did you catch the simultaneous watch checks there by Wheels and Twin? Because I thought that was really cute.
I
They
did it, but I probably would have deemed it quite cute.
I love AI sometimes. They're just incredibly good at being random, and random means that sometimes they do exactly the thing that you'd least inspect. Inspect?
Yeah.
We're doing inspects. Least expect. That's a swap. That's on camera. Get out of here. No! Ryu, shoot him.
Oh, shoot,
There you
please
go.
shoot. There we go. Okay. Because yeah, I thought you going to statues, and I thought you would do inspect swap and a quick BB afterwards, right? You're scrambling for missions at that point, and it's just yeah, Ryu was very much on it.
Yeah, and I do appreciate Rio taking a moment here to make a consideration going, okay, I saw that fade. Was it Mom who was the highlight there previously? No, I saw the fade. I believe in myself. Um, but not shooting immediately is something I need to suggest to other spies and all levels because I don't do it, but it's good advice. You have 10 seconds. At worst, you have 10 seconds. Take 2 seconds. Go, okay. Is there any possibility it's not the spy? Nah. And then blast him. But at least make that thought.
But that's
This,
more fun this without it.
I am the coolest shooter. I don't preach. I don't do what I preach. But we're talking about platinum. This is the new diamond. This is where the precise quality plays come in. And of the precise quality plays, we've seen one spy win from Rio, and that gives him the 5-3 lead. Now going into Aquarium, where we've seen a lot of shenanigans happen in Platinum, we'll see if Rio's up for it as his spy In 3, 2, 1, playing it. I just realized I haven't had the koala on all day. There we go.
Fair enough.
Hey, what's this highlight for?
Potential bug, as there was bounce, and there may have been even an attempt
But we
that
didn't
did
do
not strike.
it. I didn't do nothing. It's not fair.
Sure, if you say so. It's aquarium. Everyone does everything.
That's
No
true.
one's innocent.
Ambassador, you want to come by us while these sharks passing by? Nah, we'll take the 35% flirt. This contact's looking real good real quick. That's actually very impressive.
Yeah.
Rio would take that luck to the bank. I think that's 2 low lights and one of them smallman. Hey!
Oh.
We didn't bug. We promised. Did we break animation or something?
Well, we didn't bug then. We did attempt a bug in the very beginning, but it still feels too early to shoot.
Oh, we did
Okay,
actually
that
attempt
hand
bug.
was more visible than I thought it was.
I didn't even realize we clicked the button. My bad.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
was pretty sure there was the attempt, but yeah, I just didn't realize it was as visible as it was for the sniper. Fair enough.
okay. Yeah, I didn't even realize we clicked the bug button. Casters are not required to be good players. Case in point, myself, not you, kind of.
That'd be the
Because
other way around, but anyhow.
we got Pofke here playing some rocker, and well, I'm hoping some shark shenanigans happen in 3, 2, 1, playing it. One other notable thing: Wheels SDA, which I don't think Pofke would ever choose on Aquarium. So there can definitely be a soul read by Ryo if he wants to try and assume who's going to be the correct double agent.
Or perhaps it was RNG?
No, because well,
Probably not, since it's Blacklight.
SDA is always random, right? You don't get to choose who are the
Oh yeah,
suspected
fair
double
enough.
agents. The double agent, more often than not, you want to have it be someone who's less suspicious, but you do need to like have some mix-ups. If you just never allow Smallman to be a double agent anytime he ends up as a suspected double agent, it's like, oh, well, it's not Smallman. It's never Smallman. Um, I think on Aquarium, Ryu has that same sort of reputation with Wheels, like as similar to Smallman usually does. This is a
Uh,
double dip. We're getting our flirt in with General and one inspect. The one inspect might come back to bite us if we try and do things like inspect swap in the future, just because we're gonna have to be at that statue for slightly longer.
True, but in that case, it was the better option because General didn't really allow us to do both in just 2 cycles.
Yeah, for sure. Now we have to do this briefcase if we're gonna be good boys and girls. Uh, Pofke agrees. I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a fingerprint on the book though. Oh, because he hasn't returned it yet. Pofke a bit premature with trying to get 2 fingerprints real quick. Now we have the ability to go back to the green bookcase in the future if we want the fingerprint. And the nice thing about that is visiting the same bookcase twice isn't typically a mission.
Yes, but that depends on if Sniper remembers if it's printable or not.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh no!
oh, that is seen. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Ryu's sniper is often defined by just not allowing you to make mistakes. And Hofke makes one and he's just dead for it. Uh, we expected exciting stuff from Aquarium and instead we got 2 really quick games. One just caught for the chaos bug and another just barely missing the pad. And that's enough when you're talking about some very high level spy party. This is the sort of mistake that you see in very low level spy party where people just don't know how to path.
Or somewhere
But
in the
when I say
middle where
when I
people
say
just
when I say very low spy party, I mean like 20 games played. Like you're playing known 4 and you see this sort of pathing mistake.
right.
You stop watching for it at some point because nobody does it. But Ryu doesn't. Ryu just goes, "Wait, that's not right." Immediately pulls the trigger.
And with that, he gets the first point to come from this match.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Ryu to close it out now for the win. And this is a big deal in Platinum. With Yeast dropping out, Platinum has some spots that are up for grabs. Pofke was always in the running for the top and has been having a pretty good season. But with Lazy Bear being absolutely on fire, OP getting some really good wins, Screwloose not messing around and still being a tough out for anybody. If Ryu can get a win here against Pofke, they're really putting themselves in an opportunity to get that top two, get into the playoffs, and Ryu has the pedigree of beating really good players, including wins against myself and Year End in previous tournaments. So if Ryu can pull it off, this is the time to do it. We've got Terrace, which is a real cagey map to be trying to win your last game on, but let's do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it. I think Terrace is like one of the more interesting maps that we have at this point. As a 3 of 6, um, you're going to get into these really weird spots where AIs are actually going to finish, and I think that's rough for Pofke. Pofke is very much someone who likes to shoot people who are finishing missions. We saw that on the courtyard shot. If Ryu can pull off a nice frame here, it's going to be really hard for Pofke to go, well, you've done 3 missions, Mr. AI, but your name is Mr. AI. You're still not the spy.
The thing is, I think it's quite tough to pull off a frame on small layout maps, as it were. And I think it's way better to frame someone on a map, let's say like Ballroom or Modern, right? That has more things to do in them. Whereas here, I mean, you can try to frame, but there's not that much to do, including AI.
But even like in the situation that we saw with the green swap earlier with Salmon and the spy, if you can get a situation on this map where it's down to 2 people, you're really putting a lot of pressure on the sniper. It might not be 50-50 because the sniper is going to often make the right decision anyways, or the AI is going to be really dumb. But if you can get a 50-50 situation against a sniper at the caliber of Pofke, take it. You're not going to get 50-50s very often.
Fair
We
enough.
are just outside of bug range here and acting really chill. Like we're clearly not flirting with anybody because the only person near us is the ambassador. Um, as general, we do have the possibility of just getting a bug at some point in the game. Hi, Smallman.
We're getting a flirt, because Smallman is nice.
Banana bread.
Not taking the flirt first.
Not
Interesting
taking the
double. This is actually something I've done, and I didn't realize other people realized it was a thing. The red test flirt to Smallman to make him split, leaving like a frame after, and then taking the list. This is gonna need to be a shot on Smallman, or Ryu is gonna be a lot less confident about the quality of this play. Because what you're doing here is saying, I'm just making Smallman do the purloin and then leave immediately after, which is a very common play. Pofke's 100% read the play. He knows it's down to these two, and it's just going to be holding the shot on Smallman. If Smallman continues to talk near Duke, I think is probably another talk late in the game, and this game's probably over. The other reality is it might just be for the
Banana bread.
contact. This looks. Aww.
well, we get shot instead.
Yeah, the
Banana
problem
bread.
with this sort of play is if it comes down to a situation, you're like, is it the person trying to be clever or the person not trying to be clever? It's often the
Banana
person trying
bread.
to be clever, and in this case, doing the red test and
Banana
then
bread.
going and taking the list is incredibly clever, and Pofke does make the right read. Huh, words. Um, and also doing it on Smallman doesn't help. Like if you're playing Smallman and you're doing this sort of stuff, usually it's gonna get you shot. So it's like that you're framing Smallman. It makes sense. It all makes sense as a sniper.
Yeah, and after Pofke gets the right read on Ryu, we
Playing
can
as
see if he
Sam.
can win this.
Well, this will be our last game here. It's been a pleasure, Catnip. Let's make it a good one in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Game 12, marbles on the line, potentially, but we won't know for sure until a few weeks from now. This could even be like a playoff spot on the line, and it's going to be Pofke playing Salmon Danger with a pretty slow start. If the conversations fill up, we'll at least have a good contact. We're going to cross fingers and hope our seduction target comes to us. That's not us.
Which he
That's
doesn't
yeah.
seem to be doing. Yeah, that's a window.
The other problem is while there's two conversations, the other conversation is the one that's getting full. Even if everybody comes in the conversation, it's going to be like 3 people with a contact, maybe 4.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we could probably just do a second banana bread later, and now that conversation is being emptied a little.
Okay, seduction target's not done the blessing that we've wanted. We'd have to go near them. If we're gonna go near them now, though, it's gonna be a path near the ambassador in an overcrowded spot. Pofke might just decide to fully commit to doing nothing and trying to find a way to get someone shot, or just using the pressure that comes with a game 12 and hoping that someone gets shot when you do something like a purloin. Maybe doesn't need to be particularly clever. This might be our seduction target's second inspect. I believe they were at statues. I don't remember which pad they were at though. This might also just be another visit to the same statues.
Yeah, our seduction target is doing nothing. He joined the conversation for no more than 3 seconds, and it was not our conversation. So yeah, Pofke is doing absolutely nothing.
It's the E and A? Huh. That makes sense. Oh god, I like it. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Is that game?
Oh goodness.
Oh, he doesn't even need to take the shot. We eat the highlight. It looks like Ryooo isn't fully confident, though it's not a real banana bread, and Pofke's notably been doing nothing. We don't need to shoot even for a cough, but we're dead man walking. A purloin here, and we're obviously dead. Delegate here at least makes some sense. There's no way for Pofka to know who he needs to delegate to, though, because after you do the cough, the frame feels a lot worse.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm pulling my hair out for him. The other option is just do nothing, but if you do nothing, all you're hoping for is someone who could have the banana bread is also got fingerprints or statues, and we've watched the game as well as Pofke has. He knows that's not the case. It's going to be the delegate to red dress who was the other person who got highlight in the wake of the coughed banana bread. This would be the one person who would make sense to get shot for the purloin. Does the shot
Okay, I
even need
think
to come off though?
yeah, because it's overtime. So she would have been the overtime shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
but overtime missions aren't done. Oh, but in sniper's point of view, I mean.
yeah, if it goes into overtime, nobody's at statues, nobody's doing fingerprints, nobody's done contact. It has to be orange dress, or sorry, red dress, or someone who delegated to them. He lines up the shot, but with 8.8 on the clock, is happy to not take the shot on red dress. If she had gone there a bit sooner to the bar, maybe we see a different story. But it's so disheartening. You get to game 12 against someone who you have a storied rival with. Ryu's now up in the set count 3-2. But these guys have been playing incredibly tense matches. It's been like Winter Cup finals. It's been uh, tournament placement finals.
Banana
So a
bread.
lot of these like high stress stuff, and this is probably the worst loss that Pofke's had of those 5 because it's so disheartening to just end up coughing straight into the camera.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems the red banana bread day, because in Cletos cast earlier, he kept mentioning that or expecting that. Now you mentioned it a couple times, so it was bound to happen sooner or later. So we get that for our ending game of the night.
Yeah. I mean, on the other side of the coin, Ryu did play really well. I've always over overhyped his spy, just because it does what I like to do, but better. But also his sniper was just very precise, not allowing Pofke to have any mistakes, and Pofke just made one or two too many mistakes. Miss Pad on Aquarium comes to mind. This cough on Terrace,
Yep.
and when you're talking about this high level spy party, it's so marginal.